I'm Edie Lush, and I'm inside the Hub Culture studio. It's 2020, it's Davos, and I am absolutely delighted to have Georgie Benardete come along and say hello. She is the CEO and founder of Align17, but she's here wearing a different hat.
Yes.
What is that?
Yeah, thank you so much for being here with you.
Of course.
So I'm here as the chairwoman of the fourth sector group. So we're here to do a big announcement in support of the fourth sector.
So what is the fourth sector?
So the fourth sector, if you think about it, right now there are companies and organizations that do not fit the traditional category.
Mm-hmm.
You know, usually we're used to seeing for-profit companies, not-for-profit companies, and public interests. However, there's an emergence of companies and organizations that seek to have a profit motive, but also a purpose motive.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, the WEF has identified these fourth sector type of institutions as crucial to deliver the 2030 agenda.
So is this stakeholder capitalism, or is this a part of stakeholder capitalism?
It is part of stakeholder capitalism, broadly defined.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're here to do, as again with the head of the fourth sector group, is to launch the Buy for Benefit initiative. So the idea is that we have created a coalition of corporates that seek to green, if you may, their supply chain. So
what does that mean?
Yeah, so the way I see it as a consumer, right, is, you know, you have Apple as a company.
Yep.
So, you know, sustainability 1.0, companies were trying to deliver products that look sustainable. So you buy red.
They are. I mean,
yeah, they are. So you buy red,
sport.
10% goes to red, protect, you know, AIDS. However, now we know more about the supply chain. What goes into actually delivering these products? And then we know that it's not necessarily the best when it comes to human rights and when it comes to sustainability from an Earth perspective. So if you're entering the future with that hat of what would it look like to really care about the stakeholders, then the supply chain needs to be at the table. So the coalition is a call to action to corporates to look deeper into the supply chain and to commit to give preference to companies that belong to this fourth sector. So if you think about it, just like in the US, you have you know, tax legislation that gives priority to women-owned businesses or minority businesses. So likewise, you know, there needs to be a bias towards, you know, giving preference to companies in your supply chain that can deliver much more than just a product. And we know that this is a crucial part, like I say, of delivering the global goals. It's not only that, it's a survival for companies, because as you and I know, millennials who are in their 30s right now.
I mean, not so much younger than us.
Not so much younger than us, right? So millennials right now who, you know, want to work in companies, more than 60% want to work with companies that deliver beyond.
And they want to buy from companies.
That
put purpose at their center.
Exactly.
And they actually start to shun companies that don't.
Totally, and they shun it at the purchase moment, and they shun it at the investment moment. So at Align17, as you know, we work with impact investing and investors, and more of the family offices are going into impact investing. In the capital markets also, there's a track record of companies that, if they have, you know, ESG and sustainability, they are more profitable. And likewise, you know, the markets are penalizing companies that don't. So in a world where we're pushing ourselves to, you know, live by the principles of what the, you know, the 2030 promise, and the transparency that is coming to the table, you know, the companies know that the clients know now what is behind the phone. And so it behooves the companies to join the coalition to deliver a much more sustainable supply chain.
So as we enter this golden decade, what I wonder
why is a golden decade?
Well, that's the golden decade because it's like the next 10 years are going to be fantastic, right?
Yes.
We gotta visualize it to make it happen.
Exactly.
Right?
Absolutely.
So as we enter this golden decade, I wonder if you see a whole lot of different things coming together. This is something that I've been talking about in the podcast for a while, which is we see these different strains, different conversations now starting to weave together. This is sort of ESG, CSR thing, but then there's a sort of diversity, inclusion thing that's been happening. And then we've also seen Extinction Rebellion. We've seen all these different threads coalescing towards something that feels like we're moving towards systems change. I wonder how you see that, because we have to be realistic, but we also have to make it happen.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. So I didn't come to Davos last year, and so being here this time and walking down the street and seeing how everything is about the global goals. So
For the goals.
For the goals. So from that perspective,
Yeah.
just from that perspective, obviously the message has seeped through where it has to be. And so I see Davos and what's happening here as kind of that, that light, that signal to that is either coming from the future or creating the future at the same time, where everybody understands, to your point, that this is a crucial moment. We understand that it's inevitable, and we understand that now is the moment to choose. And that's the point. Like, as individuals, we have a clear choice. As corporates, we have a clear choice.
And as governments, frankly.
And as governments,
and as
we
voters.
have a clear choice. Exactly. And I think right now, for me, the choice is very clear. And I think, as we know, not everybody's coming to the future. And this is the time to make the decision. So I feel very hopeful that, to your point, what is going to be the one thing? It's not going to be one thing. It's all of it. But I think the conditions are here, and now the question is, who's joining?
Who's joining us?
Who's joining us?
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm joining.
Thank
Georgie,
you.
thank you so much for coming by the Davos Hub Culture Studio, and I'm Edie Lush.